Hi there. Today I'd like to discuss the spiritual path, what it is. It's following the heart. How do we do it? How do we follow our hearts and take the spiritual path? Well, first of all, it means being honest with oneself in all manners, with our desires, with our dreams, with our perceived faults, with our perceived victories. So the good and the bad, we take ownership of all of those things. And why do we see things in polarity? One must question that on that journey. It's not good enough to just say, this is good, this is evil. I will leave this evil out and I will only focus on good. We have much to learn, and what is primary in our learning is that one perception of good could be someone else's perception of bad, depending on where they are and how they are affected. So these things are not certainties, but our desire to make them certain and make others accept them, therefore our reality is their reality, therefore we are safe in the outer world. These are the things that one must face, that others have dreams, that others have goals and desires, and they might not align with yours. So does duality in this world have purpose? Yes, of course it does. But like I've said, the interpretation of this duality and how it manifests can leave one feeling either the victim or the victor. And the victim-victor complex is one that satisfies the ego. That is the identity and perception of self that is entrenched in the idea that you are a human being, separate from source, here all alone, making your way, no one loving you. Which is exactly the opposite of the truth. Aligning with the ego will lead you to scenarios in which you will have to conquer them to be the hero. This is not something that is bad. This is something that creates experiences that result in emotional memories being formed. Some can be traumatic, some can be filled with passion, filled with a sense of belonging, a sense of oneness that you remember, that it feels right. So with that feeling, we know what to identify. We know where to aim our desires if we want to feel that way more. So this is how we identify who we are, is through the ego identity. But eventually what one finds on their journey is, I also have a spirit. I have a soul. These things have ideas of their own, contrary to that of the human being, the ego. It's a desire to love, to accept all for who they are, not to be a victor, not to victimize anyone, but to see everyone grow to their utmost potential. So this is the desire of a mature being that has sought to go beyond the ego. And going beyond requires you to integrate it. Integrating the ego is admitting to the benefits of it being there for you. It may have been the source of all your pain. It may have been the source of your greatest traumas. But in those lie your greatest challenges, therefore your greatest successes, in surviving them, in overcoming them, in coming away with the knowledge that before you believed you were unable to face that. And now through going through it, you are still here. You still have a voice. You were stronger than you believed you were. So that taught you something. The spiritual path is deciding that you will take control of the lessons in your life. You will be gracious You will be accepting of the ego and its attempts to protect you. We cannot chastise it, we cannot destroy it or annex it. It was doing its best. It was ill-equipped to take in all of the variables and account for the soul. It was merely a child, there to create opportunities for the spirit to say, hey, wait a minute, I am more. We are more. So, taking the spiritual path, it may lead you back through your traumas, but this time, in integrating them, you see the purpose in why you went through them, in why you believed you deserved it, in those scenarios, why you believed you were the victim, why you believed others were deliberately doing things to you. Were they just in pain? So we start to see the truth when we go back and unravel the mystery of our own history. So integration can be a beautiful release. It can be a painful admission that we weren't fair to ourselves, that we weren't loving to ourselves, that it was never anyone else's fault. It was our own belief that we were unworthy, that we didn't deserve it. So it's time for us. It's time for us to open our hearts, to take that spiritual path, to allow the true self to come through, to take the reins from the ego that has tried so hard to carve out a safe zone for you. So let it rest. Tell it that you are the safety, that you have control now. That is what it is to be on the spiritual path. Bless you. And if you need help on your spiritual path, there's many out there, including this channel, guys. Take care. Love and blessings to you all. Bye-bye.